Hello and welcome back. This is part three, which I'm recording from a slightly different location. This is the balcony I have on the top floor of my palace. And the topic for today is abundance. And that's one of the reasons I've chosen this location is that sitting here, and I've created this dual camera view so that you get to see me and you get to see what I am watching. This is my workspace. I've put up something on my Instagram stories which shows you the full space. This is one of my workspaces where I truly feel the abundance of life, the abundance of space, and this feeling of greatness, the feeling of bigness, the big visions, the ability to expand and expand myself, my energy to this full space, that I get to expand my energy as far as my eyes can see. And I can actually feel everything in that space. I can feel the jungle. I can feel the abundance of nature and everything that's available in the space. And I want to talk about greatness from a few different angles. I want to talk about abundance from a few different angles. Abundance is something that's so coveted by the mind, but we don't really understand the energy of it. And this is why a lot of us reject it and sabotage ourselves when we are about to receive abundance, because our psyches, our souls are designed at a core level to protect us from things which we are not ready to receive. And anything in excess, and excess meaning is excess for you today, anything that is in excess becomes toxic. It becomes harmful to you. And your system, your psyche, your soul is designed to protect you from that kind of harm, from that kind of danger. So if you do not, at a soul level, at an energetic level, feel ready to receive abundance and manage it and use it and keep it flowing and not enter into scarcity and overwhelm because of the abundance that's coming your way, your system will reject it. It's guaranteed. It's how your system is designed. And if you are to receive it, there are many examples of people who have received abundance that they were not ready to receive, and it fries their system. They either end up giving it all away, or they go into super scarcity mode where they completely block the flow of life and they're just trying to hold on to the abundance and they're just staying in this completely restricted space. So they do not become expansive because of abundance, and they do not continue expanding and growing the abundance, but they become more scarce because any kind of abundance. So when I'm talking about abundance here, it's not limited to wealth. It's an abundance of energy in any form. So we have few core energies which are very powerful amplifiers. These are amplifiers, they're multipliers, they magnify whatever you are. And the three key magnifiers in the realm of abundance, that when they become abundant in your life, they truly magnify, multiply, amplify you, everything that you are wealth or money, attention, and power. These three are extremely strong amplifiers of the totality of you. So if you are a very anxious person and suddenly you receive a lot of attention, or you receive a lot of power, or you receive a lot of wealth, your anxiety is going to multiply by the amount that your abundance is increasing. If you are a person who is in scarcity and you receive a lot of money, you may think that suddenly your scarcity mindset will go away. It will only get multiplied. It will only get amplified. And your system knows this. At a deep unconscious level, you know this. And that's why, because you do not want your suffering to increase, your system is actually protecting you. The sabotage is there to protect you. I have experienced this myself in multiple ways. I had a whole experience of 2 weeks where I started this intuitive trading. I had no trading experience, especially nothing about crypto. I was not following the news. I was not keeping track of anything. I just had some two bits of knowledge about how to look at a chart, and completely based on my intuition, I sat down to trade. I had maybe around 10 to $12,000 in the bank. I took 5,000 of that and I started trading just because my intuition was telling me, do this. I trusted. So, okay, what's the worst case scenario? I lose 5,000. I'm used to living on the edge. I'm used to just making money and spending it. That's how I live my life. I don't, up until last year, I've not been focused on building savings. Like savings for me just is not important. I know that I can make money and I use that money to live a very comfortable life, an abundant life. This year, things have started shifting because some new downloads have come, and I'm still not interested in savings, but I've received some very powerful downloads about the power of wealth. And now I'm starting to put those into action, and I'm already starting to see results. But again, that's a slightly different topic, so I'm not going to go deep into it. So at that time, again, I was used to living on the edge. So for me, going down to 5,000, 6,000, even 1,000, even zero, honestly, I've been to zero, I've been to negative. It doesn't faze me because I have this deep trust in myself, in my creativity, that I can always generate more and I'll be fine. I'll be fine. So that's why at that moment, take that leap for me, I said, okay, it's a leap, but I can take it. As I started trading, within a week, that 5,000 became 100,000. And I had at that time a $70,000 loan because I was procuring a property which I did not have the money for. I literally had 10 to 12,000 in the bank, and I still signed papers for a 100K property. The first payment was 30K, literally out of nowhere, doing nothing. $36,000 dropped into my account. I did not have to move a finger. Literally, it was because I had bought some crypto domains six months or a year before that, and they were giving out bonuses because it was a crypto boom and people were just throwing money around. So suddenly, 1 week before the first payment was due, suddenly $36,000 dropped in. Like, okay, I'm done. I don't have to fret about it. Second payment was coming up. Said, okay, there was a friend who was willing to offer a loan, a $70,000 loan. Like, okay, I have no idea how I'm going to make this money, how long it's going to take, and I have to keep paying interest on it of about $800 to $1,000 a month. Like, okay, I'm committed to this. I have had the vision that this property is mine. I want it, and I will take the leap. I will trust that the money will appear. I took the leap. So in 1 week, so this was about a month after I took, or 2 months after I took the loan, this whole intuition came to start trading. And I only realized, like, pretty much on the last day of that 2 week streak of crypto trading, that it was the time when crypto had the highest volatility because it was May 2022 when three of the biggest crypto platforms, FTX and all of that, collapsed. And I was not really keeping track of the news. I was just watching the markets go like this, like this, like this. And because of that 2 bits of trading, like reading charts that I knew, I was just watching. Okay, it goes up, I sell. It goes down, it goes up, I sell, and I short, and it goes down, and I buy it back, and I was just making money. But again, you can lose a lot of money, and that's what happened later. So I got the land, and I still had about So in the first week, I think I reached $130,000. I took 70,000 out. I paid off the loan. That land became mine. It's now my property where I receive a lot of abundance from there all the time. I have natural abundance. I have cacao, cocoa, chocolate, which is produced regularly. I have coconuts, I have bananas, mangoes, jackfruit, pineapples, sweet potatoes, all kinds of things growing over there. And of course, I have a huge property with a couple of houses, and it's just magic. So all of that just came from a week of, but first with just a bunch of money appearing out of nowhere. And second, a week of intuitive trading where I had no real mental clue what I'm doing. I was literally just following my intuition. Second week, I had now $60,000 left over. I said, okay, I seem to be a master at this. I just keep going. That 60,000 in the next week ended up going to 200,000. So in total, I had gone from 5,000 to $300,000. And I could not understand what was happening. I had a job at Amazon, and before all of this, like this was when I was 24, and all of this happened when I was 32. So 8 years before that, I had a job at Amazon, and I was getting paid $200,000 a year. And all of a sudden, I had made $300,000 in 2 weeks. And I was just mind blown. Obviously, I was super happy, super excited. And the first thing I did was, okay, it's time to go celebrate. It's 2 weeks. I had set this goal that when I hit 300,000, I'm going to go celebrate. I go, I go to a spa. I go to a resort. So I booked a night at one of the best five-star resorts over here, and I treated myself to the spa and everything. And what happened is that the moment I stepped into the spa, it happened that the receptionist at that spa was a friend of mine from my capoeira class. So I knew her, and I knew that she was not financially very well off. I knew that she had lost her house and she was struggling quite a lot. And all of a sudden, I felt this instant guilt of I'm here just making crazy money without understanding how, and I'm coming here to spend a lot of money to celebrate and treat myself. And this person is having to do this job and so much more just to make ends meet. And this was such a visceral feeling in my gut. The guilt was so strong that at a very deep level, I knew that I can't hold on to this money. So what happened is that I, while I was at that spa, obviously I was still trading. Even though, part of me was like, okay, let's just get out. You have $230,000. Take it and enjoy the rest of your life. Why do you need more? And one part of me was that, and the other part of me was like, why to stop? You are a master at this. And of course, that was complete arrogance because I had no clue what I was doing. I had no clue what was happening in the crypto markets and why anything was anything. Okay, I kept trading. So I go into the massage. I come out 1 hour later and I've lost 100K in 1 hour. So when I said that uh, what I was experiencing is crazy, like a lot of people, it wasn't like I made one trade which suddenly went from 5,000 to 100,000, and then from 60,000 to 230,000. It wasn't one bet. I was making hundreds of trades all day. I was buying, selling, buying, selling, buying, selling. And usually when people do that, and I'm telling you from experience of having tried this many times after, it doesn't work. You lose the money very quickly because it's super volatile. It's very high risk. Obviously, I'm not endorsing or encouraging this. And every time later that I've tried this, it's never worked. And I've ended up losing a good amount of money. Obviously, in the overall scheme, I've made a lot of money, but every time I've tried this and after that initial experience, I've lost because this is not an actual strategy. That was the experience that I was meant to have because it taught me a lot. So in that first massage, I ended up losing 100K. Like, okay. And it did not really phase me. I was like, okay, I still have 130K. I'll make it back because I'm an expert. Again, that arrogance was super strong. And that was one of the big things I learned from that whole experience was this arrogance of thinking you know everything instead of realizing that the the whole influx happened because of intuition, not because I'm a genius master of trading crypto. It was happening because I was truly following my intuition. But the moment I disconnected from the intuition, the moment that guilt came and interfered, the moment I started becoming mental and I started becoming arrogant, it went away like this, literally. So that happened in the first 1 hour after the guilt hit me. Said, okay, I went to sleep. Next morning, I had scheduled another massage. I go to the massage. I think it was 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I come out of the massage. It's all gone. All the money, $230,000 in less than 15 hours, gone, gone. And I was like, okay, this was the most expensive, but the most fun and crazy experience and lesson. And now I need to process this and learn from it. Again, I did not let it destroy me. I did not become super critical of myself. Like, okay, this was exactly what it needed to be. I now have a property that is worth 100K. That's brilliant. What is like I'm still celebrating that. I get to have this amazing weekend at this resort spa, and the rest, we'll see what happens. Uh, When I got liquidated because I like, so it was automatically close my positions because everything went in the opposite direction of what I was betting. And they automatically close a position, but some of the money got left over because it was a very large position. Like, okay, I have some money left over. I still get to celebrate. I'm still even cash net positive, way net positive. So I think I walked away with the property plus $30,000 on top of that. So overall, I got $130,000. Like, okay. Now, this is not the amount of money I'm used to dealing with and playing with. In the past, when I was getting a salary, I would get 200K in a year. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it wasn't like I was in that super wealth abundant mindset. I used to be just saving, not really using it or burning it on nonsense. And what happened in those 2 weeks, as so much money started coming in, all of a sudden, later, as I was processing the whole experience, I started realizing that my anxiety had been through the roof in those 2 weeks. I was excited, but I was not excited in this calm, centered way, which is something I experience nowadays. Now I know that something like this exists. In those 2 weeks, when I had that excitement, it was this super nervous, anxious excitement of now I have to do something. Now that I have all the money, I have to manifest all the visions that I've been having. Now I have to start taking action. And I was just taking this very rash, unplanned, impulsive action. In a way, what I was really trying to do is just get rid of all the money. I couldn't really hold on to it. And this is what I was talking about. And this is just one example. I've seen this happen to me in several other examples. I know of several other people who talk about the same thing, is that money is an amplifier. Power is an amplifier. Attention is an amplifier. When you're receiving attention from a lot of people, all of a sudden you become famous, you go viral, something happens. All of a sudden you receive a lot of attention. Everything within you amplifies. So if you are a very nervous person, if you're an anxious person, if you're very private person, all of a sudden you're receiving all of this attention, it amplifies everything. So receiving is one energy, and holding is an entirely different energy. Holding in a way that keeps you expansive, that is sustainable, that doesn't amplify your insecurities, that doesn't amplify your pain, shame, guilt, anxiety, depression, whatever it is, holding and receiving are two completely different energies. You may be capable of receiving a lot, but can you hold it? Can you hold it? I had this other pattern, which I realized in the last few months as I've been shifting into the receiving plus holding plus giving plus movement energy, because all of these are different energies. Learning to move energy, whether it's abundance of wealth, attention, power, whatever it is. If anything, if it's power and you just try to hold on to it and you're not moving it. So you can hold while you're also moving, you can receive, you can give. If you're not doing all of it, if it's not in this harmony, if it's not in flow, and that flow can include holding. Flow doesn't mean that you have to just be water. You can be a river, you can be an ocean, you can be a lake, you can be all of it at the same time. And so when you are receiving and you have not done the preparation work to expand your container and hold the energy and move the energy, you can either you can do a few things. One is you're anxious to just release it, because this is what happens in overwhelm when you have a lot of energy in your system. And it's physical overwhelm when you're feeling very anxious. You just want to shake, you want to move, you want to get rid of the energy. And that's why when you're very anxious, movement practices can be very helpful. And that's what you want to do with money and power and attention also. You want to get rid of it. You want to shake it off. You want to release it. You want to release all the excess. That's how your system is designed. You can either do that or you can grow your capacity to hold. You can grow your container to hold more energy and then move that energy and then give that energy, but from a place of intention rather than reaction, rather than overwhelm. Like, okay, this is my capacity now, and I allow this much to come in and I allow this much to go out. And it's in this flow, it's in this movement. And at the same time, I'm holding this amount of energy. So one thing can be you want to shake it off, you want to release it. The other thing can be that you become constricted and you want to hold on to it, not to lose it. And this can also be when you have a lot of trapped energy, a lot of repressed energy, a lot of suppressed energy. If you're more on the depressive side and you're just repressing everything, you may have the same reaction with money, with power, with attention, is that you want to try and hold on to it because you're insecure of losing it. So again, instead of being expansive in holding it, you're being contracted in holding it. You are constantly focused on how it can be taken away, how you can lose it, how you may make some blunder, some mistake in which you end up losing it all. And you're just constantly trying to hold on to it instead of being in the trust that is there, it's yours. You can give it, and that much will come back, and more will come back, and you can keep expanding, and you can stay in this expansive state. And these are some of the main patterns that show up. Like it's usually in this domain. Obviously, there are many nuances of these, but one is you become restricted, you become repressed, and you're trying to hold on, and the other is you're trying to shake off the energy. And while I have with money in the past, 10 years back when I was at Amazon, I knew how to hold it, but I did not know how to hold it again in this way of movement. It was just sitting in the bank as savings because I did not know what to do with it. I did not want to save the money, but I also did not know how to use it in a way that was in alignment. So it was just like, okay, I have no interest in money. It's just sitting in the bank. Someday I will do something with it. And I did. When I moved to Brazil, I used that money to build a house here. And that was great. I was so happy that I have that resource to build a house here and do my apprenticeship and not have to worry about money and just focus on my spiritual growth, my healing, my development, my training as a leader, as a spiritual master. Okay, great. This is what I started learning more and more is learning to hold abundance wealth, not just in terms of money, but any kind of energetic wealth, how to hold it and use the power of it to make moves in the universe, to create your future, because it's energy, and that energy can be directed for anything. That energy can be directed when it's in the form of money. Obviously, we know how investments work. We know we can use that money to invest into our futures. But at the same time, you can do the same with attention. You can do the same with power, spiritual power, personal power. When you learn to build it, when you learn to grow it, that is your capacity to handle more responsibility, to handle more pain, to handle more greatness, to handle more attention, to handle more money and all of it. So it's all translating. There is this very famous law or saying that energy is neither created nor destroyed. It just changes from one form to another. So when you're growing your personal power, that power can then be translated into money. It can be translated into attention. Because when you have power, when you're truly centered in your power, you have conviction, you have confidence, you can command a lot more authority. And with that, you can command more attention. You have more charisma, you have more presence, you have more magnetism, which attracts more people, and you can hold the attention of a lot more people, not in any of the traditional ways. So in everything I've been saying, there is the traditional mental masculine way of doing things. But here I'm talking only about energetic. The masculine way is to try and hack it, to try and fake it, to just be superficial. So I will learn all the strategies to make money, but I don't know the actual power and the energy of money. I will do all the tactics and techniques to have confidence, which is this fake it till you make it confidence, this self brainwashing confidence, hyped up confidence. And with that, I will use some tactics and techniques to speak in a certain way, which is charismatic, but in this very superficial way. And my audience will be captivated for 2 hours, but do they really feel you? Do you have the energy to hold them, to receive them, to keep them tuned, to hold that many people as not just your audience, but your community, to have this in your world? Like you have hundreds or thousands or millions of people who you're holding, and it's sustainable, and you enjoy it and you love it and they love you, and there is this beautiful flow happening. A lot of the creators get burned out. A lot of the creators go into extreme anxiety because they're uh, so concerned about their public image, and any criticism from their fans or from their opposers or everything is like they're so caught up in their head about their public image. And it's not, again, in this trust, in this alignment. This is actually who I am. If you have manufactured your whole image, and that is how you've attracted your audience, then everything is about keeping up the image rather than actually just being you, which is effortless because you've become that person who's magnetic, who's radiant. You've built that capacity, you've built that energetic container, you've built that power to hold all of this. But if you just suddenly receive a surge of power because you went viral, but you have not done any of the work, any of the personal development work to hold all of this new attention, it will either become something that eats at you, or you will end up sabotaging it and discharging it and going back to being a nobody. This is a phenomenon that repeats again and again and again. We can see it in so many people in the world. The people who just do it by hacking it, by doing it in a superficial way, it's never sustainable. And what I'm here, what I have learned, my whole journey has been about is how to keep all of this sustainable, how to stay expansive and grow. Because I learned one thing in all of my experiences is that I would rather not grow prematurely then grow and lose it all, and then have to start all over again. So my way, the way I teach people, so I'll say two things here. For the people who have not yet attained external success or internal success, the way I teach is to go level by level, building a foundation to take the next leap, creating the foundation to take the next leap, creating the foundation to take the next leap, and next leap, and next leap, and to keep going higher and higher and higher. But it's always super stable and it's always sustainable because you're building a rock solid foundation. You can, because you have this foundation, if you fly high and you fall, you're only falling back to the level of your foundation. But if your foundation is shaky and you just try to keep jumping and flying higher and higher, what can happen? You don't want to land on the ground because there is no ground to land on. And so you have to keep flying, you have to keep flying, and you have to keep flying. And at some moment, you burn out. And then when you crash, you go way below where you have ever been. You go to rock bottom, but that rock bottom is the rock bottom. It's not this rock solid foundation. It's absolute breakdown. It's despair. It's a spiritual meltdown. And this again, this is not what we want to create, right? Like we want to have sustainable growth. If you're going to experience success, we want to hold it. We want to enjoy it fully. We want to be calm, to take the time to enjoy it, to have the luxury to enjoy it, not in this anxious way of I have to hold on to it. I don't want to lose it. I don't know if I can create more of it or it will go away. So I have to enjoy everything now. And there's this constant anxiety. Or the other side of it, it's like, take it away from me, take it away from me. I don't want it. It's too much for me. It's like, no, I really want to enjoy all the success, all the abundance that I'm experiencing. And then taking that on the other side is people. So this is for the people who have not yet broken through. And then there are people who have, who are catching up to their success, where their success has overtaken them. They went, you've gone viral, or suddenly you made a lot of money because you had a great idea, but now it's too much. You're in that overwhelm, you're in that other side of what I have been describing. You've become restricted, you've become incapacitated because of the abundance, and you're not being in this expansive state. So for these people, it's a completely different strategy. It's about, okay, you have this, let's set it aside and let's work on building the foundation at the level. So we are catching up to your success. We don't want to lose it and give it away. We don't want to be restricted by it. So we will just put it on pause in a way. And we just work on stretching your capacity to meet life and your success to the level that it is. So you are catching up to it. And once you feel, okay, I am fully receiving what I have received, I'm fully holding it, I'm fully enjoying it, I'm loving it, and now I'm ready to grow. And now we go again in the same strategy. We go level by level, building a foundation, expanding, 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 allowing ourselves to receive more while being stable, while being sustainable. And when you're doing it this way, it's so beautiful. It's so magical. It's so enjoyable because you're just in love with life. You're so happy because everything is going great. And when challenges come, you just see them as opportunities to expand, opportunities to learn more, to grow your capacity, to receive more, to have more impact, to touch more people's lives, to spread your magic more, to see the world transforming, to see your own life transforming, becoming more magical, receiving opportunities that you could not even imagine existed. You're entering into realities which, what? How do people experience this? I did not even know that this exists. How is this happening to me? Like these kinds of things start happening, and you're just enjoying life more and more and more. All of the anxiety is gone. all of the stress, the depression, repression, avoidance, constriction, it's all gone. You're just in this pure expansion mode. And I've seen the extreme, both the sides, both the holding on, feeling restricted, feeling the scarcity, also feeling the overwhelm, the anxiety, wanting to give it all away. I've experienced the extremes and I've experienced the center. And I've been living in the center in different dimensions. So with spiritual power, it's something I've been doing now for a few years, just growing my capacity, whether it's attention, wealth. Wealth I've not been practicing holding on to up until the last few months, but it's much easier for me now because I've been practicing it with attention. I've been practicing it with power. So wealth is just one more. These are very interchangeable. So once you learn how to hold one of the amplifiers, the others become the same. It's the same because finally it's just energy. So obviously, like each of them have their nuances, and I'm still learning a lot about wealth, and I'm happy that I have space to grow in that. I have a lot to learn there, and as I keep learning, I'm going to be teaching more about it. And obviously, that's part of what I enjoy also, like having the space to grow, having the space to learn more. So, anyways, I feel I've shared everything I wanted to say about abundance, at least this whole side of it. And then obviously there is the whole magic of it. But rather than talking about the magic, I want you to experience the magic. I want you to experience the actual magic of abundance when your system is fully in alignment to receive abundance. Because honestly, it cannot be explained mentally, it cannot be explained logically. A lot of people are doing this, so I will not spend time and energy doing that. Everyone knows how to think about abundance, how to imagine abundance, but I'm not here just for theory. I'm not here just for knowledge. I'm here to make you experience it and enjoy it. I don't want you to just have abundance. I want you to enjoy the abundance. I want you to hold it, stay expansive, stay magical, and grow it and keep growing it infinitely. That's what my whole space is about. That's what my journey is about. And that's what I'm here to teach you. So, welcome to Abundance and welcome to IO. If you have any thoughts, any comments, any insights, please share them in the comments. You have any questions that will help to deepen this topic, I would love to receive them so that I can make more videos and answer those questions and go even deeper on these topics. Thank you for joining me. And for more information about IO, my mentorship opportunities, you can subscribe to me on Instagram. I have a whole welcome tour on my website, which will take you through everything that I have to offer. And that's about it. Until the next video.